more room today. Excellencies, good morning. Welcome to the next event of Cyber Resilience for Development program in Mauritius. I'm very glad to welcome you on behalf of the EU-funded capacity building program that has been working in this country since 2019. Mauritius has done quite a bit of progress in cybersecurity and cyber resilience, and we have been discussing the elements of your progress in several events. You have become quite an example to your part of the world. This event is actually going to be on something different. Every digital society relies a lot on its on the resilience of its society to be able to make sense of information. All the societies who are grappling with a lot of information that is brought in by all the digital platforms, all the societies, they want to be sure that their people are able to sort of stay on top of all that information that is brought to them. And this is something that you can call resilience against disinformation, where people are able to make good choices on their own, for their own life, for their own behavior, for their own health. Disinformation has become quite a bit of a challenge for all the governments and for all the societies in the world. And I would say that especially threatened by disinformation are all the societies that consider themselves democratic. So democracy is something that is most threatened by information manipulation. So in order for this not to happen, and in order for the societies to be resilient, you have to make governments and the whole of society can take some steps to build up resilience, the same way as you are building up resilience in cybersecurity. And this is what this training is going to be about. What we will try to bring to you are certain good examples from the rest of the world, from EU, etc. So without further ado, and we will come to this to the content of the training later on as well, I want, first of all, I have a great privilege to welcome here for the opening of this training His Excellency Mr. Vincent Teger, Ambassador of the European Union in Republic of Mauritius and in Republic of Seychelles. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Hannes, Honorable Minister Balgomin, Minister of Information Technology, Communication and Innovation, Madam Permanent Secretary, my dear colleague Sim Kumpas, who is the lead expert in the East Stratcom Task Force of the European Union External Action Service, our Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the European Union, and this information is getting really at the top also of the problematics that we want to tackle at the level of our Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the 27 member states as much as for the European Union. My dear colleague and friend Hannes Krauses, the coordinator of the Cybersecurity for Development program for the Indian Ocean region. representatives of the various ministries and public institutions of Mauritius, members of the police force, members of the press, and I mentioned that we have a specific roundtable organized for the press on Thursday, and also for the civil society actors, because you'll see it's an all society approach that we need to develop in relation to the information. Distinguished guests, maybe I'll try to fix this works. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, a very warm welcome to all of you. Disinformation is a form of information disorder. It is false information that is knowingly shared to cause harm. There are different motivations of those responsible for disinformation campaigns. It can be either economic or political, and there is a myriad of state and non-state actors involved who use diverse tools and manipulation techniques to achieve their harmful goals. It is direct and indirect impacts that are difficult sometimes to quantify. We are only at the earliest stage of understanding their full implications. However, what we know, it is that long-term implication of disinformation campaigns designed specifically to sow mistrust and confusion and to sharpen existing socio-cultural division using nationalistic, using ethnic, using racial, using religious tensions. These implications are, of course, most worrying for our society. Before we can successfully tackle the problem of disinformation, we all must understand it. Only when we will have clarity on the nature of the problem, we can define and implement the proper responses to that problem. I have another problem, which is this microphone, but I hope somebody can fix it. Otherwise. And this is why we are all gathered here today, precisely to see how we can define proper responses. Honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you all to the opening, therefore, of this two-day seminar, training workshop on understanding and building resilience against disinformation in our democratic society. An initiative that is made by the possible thanks to the support of the Cyber Resilience for Development Project. The emergence of new digital technologies have allowed our societies to develop faster and, I hope, wiser. The emergence of internet, particularly social media, has allowed us to connect in ways we have never known before, day and night. But like with all new technologies, there are, of course, new challenges that come with it. One of the challenges is the rapidly growing phenomenon of precisely information disorder. Information disorder, including disinformation, is not a new thing in the human society. But with rapid digitalization of societies, we are witnessing something new. Information pollution at a global scale, a complex web of motivation for creating, disseminating, and consuming polluted messages. A myriad of techniques for amplifying content. Innumerable platforms hosting and reproducing this content at breakneck speed. And of course, we can add to that the role of the algorithm that play in that context. Every day, we hear that bad is good, that less is more, that democracy are our enemies, and that oppression is freedom, that Brexit will allow to invest more in the health services, to take another recent example. This information is constantly evolving and becoming more complex. It is present across different realms of the society in fields such as migration, health, political relations, or Brexit, as I just mentioned, or, as we see it these days, on the war in Ukraine. And we are all very vulnerable, or even sometimes naive. Our society's modern information environment is widely accessible. It is cheap. It provides sophisticated editing and publishing technology, making it very easy for anyone to create and distribute content. Moreover, popular social networks make it difficult for people to judge the credibility of any message. The focus being on the story rather than on the source. Endorsements of social recommendations are guiding this readership. Disinformation is also becoming a real challenge to democratic societies in all of the world. Democracy is a system that is based on information that people have as people make their choice, their political choice, according to their perception of the information they receive. And, of course, if the information is manipulated, people are not aware of the reality, and their choice becomes therefore biased. So, what should be done? And what can you do here in Mauritius? Honourable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, owing to the rapid spread of information disorder in the worldwide scale, it is more important and more urgent than ever to build the resilience of our societies to disinformation. And to precisely build this resilience, it is important to understand what disinformation is about, how it works, who are they, where are they, how do they work, what are their motives, what are their goals and objectives. Appropriate technological solutions, such as structural changes to the information ecosystem, with rules to better govern the decision and behavior of information platforms, whilst at the same time targeting, safeguarding the values and freedom of democratic society, can then be devised and implemented. I want to underline here that preventing the spread of toxic information and of on the information platform is not about attacking freedom of speech. On the contrary, it is about protecting precisely. However, technical solution alone is not enough. The problem, as I said before, is a whole of society problem, and therefore we need a whole of society approach with the media, with the civil society, and with the people who are empowered through education and media literacy to raise awareness about how this information works. We need to be adopted. Lying is a problem, but the bigger problem is when you believe in this lie. Through this 2-day workshop that we are organizing, the EU is assisting the actors of the Mauritian society in, first of all, developing a better understanding of what this information is about, and secondly, in devising the appropriate approach to build the resilience of the nation. All of you present here today have a role to play into this process. In conclusion, let me say that information disorder is a crisis of our modern society that needs to be given the highest attention it deserves. When bad information becomes as prevalent, as persuasive, and as persistent as good information, it creates a chain reaction of harm. The European Union and the European Commission in particular has stepped up its efforts to fight the spread of misinformation and misinformation to ensure the protection of our European values and democratic systems. But the problem of information disorder is, as I said, more global, so the response has to be a global response. This is why the European Union, through its Cyber Resilience for Development project, is providing support to all like-minded partners countries like Mauritius to enhance their capacity to counter the spread of disinformation. Honourable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, by accepting the support of the European Union to fight the phenomenon of information disorder, Mauritius has demonstrated that as a nation it is committed to upholding strong democratic values. I hope that Mauritius, as the EU Cyber for Development Regional Hub, as we decided a few months ago, would in turn support other like-minded countries in the region in their fight against information disorder. We would like to seize this opportunity to thank you and the staff of your ministry for all the good work carried out so far as a regional hub and for the successful training delivered to the authorities in the Seychelles on the subject of cyber security strategy last December. Thank you, Minister, in particular for your personal involvement into this process. Ladies and gentlemen, I will stop here. I will let the specialists address all the subjects I've just been touching upon. It's been really a great pleasure to be with you this morning, and I'm sure we will learn a lot today about disinformation. I just want to mention one additional thing, is that the European Union and our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, our External Action Service, has just published last month a FINI report on the manipulation of information. It is extremely important to document disinformation. You need to know what is the process. Disinformation is not the upper part of the iceberg, so to say, but what is important is to understand all the mechanisms that is behind how we construct, or how people construct disinformation, and to document it. Because afterwards, in our democratic society, everything has to be legal. Everything has to go to court. At a certain point of time, you can forbid a social network, you can forbid a TV, you can forbid support, only if you can prove that this is a process of information disorder and disinformation. And we have cases in front of the courts precisely when we are forbidding one or the other TV to operate because we consider it is not information, but it is disinformation. You have to have a judicial process and judicial decision. So all of that is very important. Understand the mechanism, document the mechanism, how it works, and of course, design the appropriate responses for that matter. So it's not an easy task. It's complex, and I hope that you will be able to learn a lot about this today by sharing the experience. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a very good seminar.
And now I have the great privilege to invite here for the opening speech Honorable Désinformation, Minister of Information Technology, Communication and Innovation. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Hannes. His Excellency Vincent Leger, Ambassador of the European Union to the Republic of Mauritius and Republic of Seychelles, Mrs. Sandrine Valère-Brully, the Permanent Secretary of my ministry, Mr. Hannes, the Country Coordinator Cyber for Development Project of the European Union, the heads of departments and parasitic organization, Mr. Sim Kumpas, the lead expert in Brussels, European Union Action Service, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It gives me immense pleasure to be here today to address you on the opening of today's workshop on disinformation organized by the Cyber Project and in collaboration with the European Union and my ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, the cyber threat landscape has changed drastically since last few years now. Across the world, Web 2.0 innovation in technology have changed the way people seek, receive and import information and connect with each other. Today, social media in particular has enabled people to become producers of content and information rather than being consumers of information. And Mauritius has not been spared by this phenomenon. At the same time, we have done very good in terms of high internet penetration in household and businesses. The increased usage of smartphones in the country, high adoption of social networks, as well as with 5G connectivity today, it's very easy to download and stream viewing of contents online. And all these contribute in making the cyberspace more prone to attacks. Today, we have a mobile penetration of 157% in the country. We have more than 2 million active phones in the country for a population of 1.2 million. So you could imagine the ease of access to information from the very young till the seniors. We have 99% of internet connectivity in the country. 99%. We have in some region already launched the 5G services, which means somebody sitting at home and watching YouTube, for example, could have a very clean and smooth streaming. No need to wait and then to load and you wait. You see a film, you see a movie in a very smooth manner. So when we have done all these innovations, all these advancements in the country, unfortunately we have to accept that disinformation, cyber threats, and a small country will become prone to. Due to the borderless nature of cybercrime, many of the cybersecurity threats we see globally are also affecting Mauritius. And we can read in the press, we can see in the net how other countries are being affected by cybercrime and cyber threats and cyber attacks. Mauritius also here in the country, maybe people don't realize we are facing a rise in, for example, ransomware, in social media scams, the proliferation of propaganda, as the ambassador rightly said, disinformation, fake news. We are also being a victim of all these. And what happens when we are vulnerable to all these, I would say, crimes? Propaganda, fake news, disinformation have the potential to polarize the public opinion. They could promote violent extremism, hate speech, and ultimately undermine democracies and reduce trust in democratic process. When you see around the world, we are talking about the European Union here, a recent statistic revealed that 2/3 of the European Union citizens have come across fake news at least once a week. 2/3 of the whole 27 member states you can imagine how many millions of people we're talking about. They have at least once a week come across a fake news. And over 80% citizens say they see fake news both as an issue for their country and for the democracy in general. Ladies and gentlemen, before I come to the specifics of today's workshop, let me elaborate a little bit on what the government, my ministry, has done to protect the Mauritian cyberspace. First, the capacity building, which is very important. One of the fundamental elements is definitely capacity building. Good security requires highly skilled practitioners with good expertise. And today it is a fact that there's a big shortage of cybersecurity manpower around the world, including in Mauritius. Qualified professionals are great demands. And to ensure that this demand is met, my ministry, together with our friends from the European Union and the Cyber 4D project, we have set up the Center of Excellence in the field of cybersecurity in 2020. And to date, there have been at least 9 cybersecurity training sessions conducted by our third MU. And including number of countries, including African countries, have benefited from this program. And the center is actively engaging the region, the African region, our neighbors, Seychelles, Madagascar, Rwanda, Malawi, South Africa, to engage actively in cyber capacity building. Secondly, concerning the legal framework, I'm sure we have our colleagues from SLO around here. No? Yes. You have from SLO. It's not about cybercrime. It's not about a question of attacking confidentiality, integrity, or computer system, but also against the core values and the human development potential. In this light, the Mauritius legal framework remains strong and resilient to cybercrime. This is why government in December 2021 enacted the new law on cybersecurity and cybercrime. The law has been aligned with the Budapest Convention and the Malabo Convention. And we have taken care of the technological development, international convention as I just mentioned, norms and standards, as well as legal and regulatory changes. Because what we had before, the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act of 2003, the whole landscape have changed. 2 years ago. So this is why I decided to repeal the previous act and bring in a new act which is in line with today's ecosystem. Maybe in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, this current act will no more be in use, because in the meantime, the fast development in the technological ecosystem might require more changes and amendments. Moreover, to resolve incidents, a national cyber incident response plan to manage crisis situation is in place. For incident reporting, today when I go in my constituency or I meet people, everybody complains about, we have reported, where to report, how to report. We contact Facebook, to remove a post somebody has put their picture or put any comments. It is not being entertained. So with the MOPOS platform that we have implemented by CERT-MU, which is the Mauritian Cybercrime Online Reporting System, we have centralized all the complaints to the CERT, and the CERT assists businesses, citizens in reporting any incidents that they may feel is causing harm. With regard to the technical infrastructure, it's very important that we are one of the rare countries in the region. We are implementing our SOC, the Security Operations Center, at the level of the Government Online Center, the GOC. So through the SOC, the threats of the government network and devices will be monitored, and any appropriate actions will be taken to resolve incidents. So the SOC is like a center of command where we could see in live any cyber threats coming in and cyber attacks coming in, and our expert will take whatever actions that need to be taken. In the same line, the government, my ministry, have launched a platform called MoShield. And this platform is available to the public, to businesses, to individuals, to organizations. The platform allows organizations to share and post information about cyber threats, such as indicators of compromise, attack tactics, and techniques. What's interesting is that platform is not only used in Mauritius, but also in international organizations. So what happens is information is provided on the platform. For example, any attacks happen in a country in Europe, a country in Asia, or the Americas, those information are posted on the platform. And any other country can see which type of attack, which form of attack, the IPs of those attacks, so that they could take necessary action in the country to block all these IPs or DOS or any types of attacks. So it is an information sharing platform that everybody can use. And I'm happy also to announce that MoShield platform has been selected by the World Summit on Information Society WISIS 2023 as a champion project by the International Telecommunication Union, ITU. Now, in terms of policies, my ministry is working to implement the critical information infrastructure framework that will allow to strengthen the security of the Mauritius critical infrastructures. In addition, the national cybersecurity strategy for the whole country is also being reviewed to come up with concrete actions and make the country more secure and resilient. And lastly, in terms of regional international cooperation, our team at the CERT, that is the Computer Emergency Response Team of Mauritius, is being solicited greatly by our African friends and neighbors to be able to help and assist them in implementing the various aspects of cybersecurity in the region. We have done a number of drills and cyber drills in various African countries with the help of the European Union. And now actually Mauritius is assisting Rwanda Togo, Botswana, Malawi, Seychelles in implementing the CERT and in various areas of cybersecurity. And this is, of course, with the help of European Union and Cyber 4D, where our people were trained, they got exposure, capacity building, and in turn now we share and implement those training and those ideas that we have. So all these initiatives, ladies and gentlemen, have played an important role for Mauritius. And this is why the ITU Global Security Cybersecurity Index, Mauritius is placed first in Africa and 17th in the world. We are committed to continue to make Mauritius a cybersecurity hub, as well as a secure and resilient nation. Let me try to end here. You know, you would all agree with me that disinformation has no borders. Today it is very, very easy to just throw a news, to just post any news that is totally fake, just to make propaganda, just to gain political mileage, as His Excellency the Ambassador has just mentioned, and just to make harm to people. It's so easy to do. This is why it is important to be aware and how to fight this evil of fake news and disinformation. Because when information is manipulated, people don't have a clear idea what is happening. Because the purpose of disinformation, the purpose of propaganda, the purpose of fake news is to manipulate the public opinion. This is why it is important to identify the truth and discern biasness. So this workshop, our friend from Brussels is here to be able to provide all of you the ability, the ways and means how to tackle this information. And also from the press, I know the media trust is here. The big part of disinformation has to be dealt with at the media trust, with your members. Because today the press very easily take information that they hear of, that they see somewhere, with no verification at the back, and then it becomes headline the next day. So there's a big part to be played at the media trust also, how to tackle disinformation. And I'm happy that the media trust is present today so that they could disseminate those information to their members. So let me now thank Mr. Hannes Kroos from Estonia. I had a chance to visit their ecosystem sometime last year, where we have seen the various measures implemented at the, for example, the SOC, for example, their initiative taken in terms of cybercrime and cybersecurity, disinformation, and the whole team of Cyber 4D for this workshop. I'm also informed that the Cyber 4D project is expected to be over soon, and therefore my very humble appeal to our very good friends of the European Union, and I'm sure that the ambassador, who is a very good friend of Mauritius and supporting the African region especially Mauritius and Seychelles, will definitely consider that we could continue to benefit more from such kind of projects, such kind of help and collaboration from the European Union. I'm sure, Mr. Ambassador, you will use your good office to relay our information to Europe so that the people of Mauritius, the people of Seychelles, and the whole region could continue to benefit from such initiatives. So with this word, ladies and gentlemen, let me have the pleasure to declare this workshop on disinformation open, and I wish you very good deliberation. Thank you very much.